Public sector and government agencies today face a dual challenge of managing legacy systems and processes while simultaneously striving to meet the escalating expectations of the public. Constituents now expect the same seamless, efficient, and personalized experiences from government services that they receive from leading private sector companies. It's in this landscape where specialized technology systems integrators, particularly those partnering with big cloud leaders like Amazon Web Services, are emerging as crucial enablers. They bring not just technical expertise, but also the deep domain knowledge of public sector intricacies, helping agencies navigate complex transformations. Joining us to talk about how agencies can benefit from this expertise and achieve greater efficiencies for the public more quickly is Paul Godwin, tolling and transit portfolio leader for Cognizant Technology Solutions. Paul, thank you so much for joining us and welcome to the program.
Thank you.
So, I'd like to start by asking from your vantage point, working with numerous public sector agencies, what are the sort of more persistent or most persistent IT challenges that they face in delivering efficient constituent services?
Yeah, public sector agencies today face a range of IT challenges, right? Trying to deliver efficient services. I would categorize them into four buckets. They are inefficient legacy systems. Some of the agencies don't even own their systems and data, and their ability to adapt and change to their growing needs and for of course on their cybersecurity threats and how do they actually be strong against them, right? So that those are the four different buckets that I would want to highlight. So many agencies today still rely on outdated systems that are again monolithic in nature, not able to adapt to the changes, right? Not being agile, and there are a lot of customizations involved with old softwares and technologies, right? So that's one thing, is I would say it's a challenge. And the ownership is, some of the agencies, especially in transit and tolling area, they depend pretty much on the vendor, right? They have a procurement that they go against, and a vendor comes and locks for 7 years or 10 years. They come with their system, and the agencies don't even get to own the data that they're supposed to. Without that right data, you will not be able to course correct where you want to go in that standpoint. And some of you know uh, the ability to adapt and change to needs. If there is a process change, for example, one example that we would want to talk about is during COVID standpoint. A lot of the agencies had issues in terms of revenue leakages, right? The expected traffic was not there for tolling. In that case, the agencies could have avoided some of those processes and aspects, but they were not able to quickly adapt because of the legacy systems that they had. And of course, the last one that we want to highlight is the cybersecurity threats. Right, system needs to be nimble. System needs to be secured from the data center standpoint or from the cloud provider standpoint, to be able to withstand those threats. Those are the four broad categories that I would fit it in. Yeah.
Appreciate that. So, talk to us a little about how do modern cloud technologies and the breadth of specialized services offered by, let's say, AWS and partner organizations like yours, how do they fundamentally change the game for public sector efficiency and the ability to innovate in service delivery?
Yeah, particularly, AWS was a pioneer, I would say, right? In 2017, 2018 standpoint, they transformed this entire, coming up with serverless architectures, providing, easy uh, access to the agencies to move their data and move their systems into cloud. So elasticity and scalability, right? That's the first thing. If you were to look at any cloud provider, so AWS enables those agencies to scale infrastructure dynamically based on demand. This elasticity ensures that services remain responsive during peak usage without over provisioning the resources, right? In a typical example, in a tolling agency, there will be 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours in the evening is where the peak traffic is going to be, and rest of those time, you don't really need the entire infrastructure to be ready and up and running. So usage of such cloud providers will help the agencies to tune it down when the traffic is not there, and automatically it tunes up to the max capabilities and capacity when the traffic is there. Right? That's the foremost thing. It transforms the agencies, and then you don't have to worry about the advancements in the technology, right? These cloud providers bring it, the relevancy of it for each of those, the AI and ML side of it. So AWS gives those options today. It actually enables a culture for experimenting those, technology advancements, um, allows the agencies to quickly test new ideas, iterate on solutions, and bring innovative services to the agencies way faster than somebody has to keep up to date with the technology, learn it, and try and articulate internally within the agencies. And the third aspect I would say is the data analytics part. You know, the AWS especially has capabilities which transforms raw data into actionable insights, improving efficiency and the revenue capture from the agency standpoint. I can name some of the services like Amazon Redshift, QuickSight. That's where the whole reporting and analytics happens within AWS. And of course, security and compliance. Right, I'm going to go back to the topic where that is an issue, and uh, with AWS kind of cloud service providers, um, they have this inbuilt security features, right? Offering a more robust and a secure environment. Um, and they also have a government cloud region specifically designed for sensitive data and regulated workloads. Some of those, especially AWS meets standards like FedRAMP, DoD, IL5, a lot of that stuff, right? So that uh, gives you, um, the public sectors or the agencies, to see how they can actually improve their efficiencies and their ability to innovate.
And then can you elaborate a little more on the specific value proposition that firms like yours bring to the table? I think many of our viewers are familiar with AWS's various strengths along the lines you discussed, but how do you add extra value in that process?
So, um, see that partnerships, right? Um, AWS and Cognizant, such partnerships, the agency should consider them as a one-stop shop for future-proofing themselves and their technology and services needs. AWS brings in the technology, as I said. They keep up to date with the advancements that happens in the industry. So they bring the technology, and we as Cognizant bring the needed domain expertise and the right tools and the accelerators to enhance and modernize and transform the agency's processes and systems. So that's the combination that we have to look for, when it comes to the partnership, and how do we future proof ourselves from the public sector standpoint, right? I could throw out some examples in terms of, if a particular agency wants to adopt the cloud, modernize. Um, we bring in our methodologies and frameworks. AWS comes in with their assets. How do we migrate? And we work, um, hand in hand, right, to make sure the public sector's needs are met. Um, and AWS in particular, right? They actually invest a lot for um, the newer agencies to come on board and into cloud. They offer co-innovate. They do a lot of prototyping with us, and with we collaboratively work with AWS and show stuff to the agencies even before the entire assets gets moved into cloud, right? From the funding and cost optimization, there are a lot of partner benefits that AWS provides that in turn we give it back to our clients, in this case, the public sector agencies, to not only consider the infrastructure move, the associated application and assets move. Most of the cases will be handled by those funding that is available from those cloud service providers. And the from the domain center standpoint, once so for example, in this case, for the tolling world, Cognizant has its own uh, solution, a digital tolling platform that is available in AWS's marketplace. So such tolling agencies can just go into AWS marketplace. They don't even have to reach out to Cognizant or any other vendor. Right? They can go to the marketplace, look at the capabilities of the particular tolling platform. They can download a demo version, play with it, and see what is it needed. And then if they like it, they can reach out to us and see how do we actually implement for them. So that's way things work today, and we already do it at scale in the commercial segment, and hopefully the public sector will catch too.
I can see where the partnership makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Can you share maybe a common scenario or actual use case example where working with AWS and with Cognizant, how that's demonstrably improved an agency's operations? Or I know you work kind of in the tolling sector, maybe one of your customers there. How's that helped them improve the service for their constituents?
Yeah, that's a good thing. It makes real to the clients here, right? So I can again, I'm gonna go back to the tolling related use case. Just because we have a platform and we have done this in a couple of our clients. One of the use cases for the cloud based or cloud native contact center, which is Amazon Connect, which is again an AWS product. Amazon Connect is a scalable cloud native contact center solution that enables organizations to enhance customer service while reducing operational costs. So we Cognizant uses Amazon Connect to orchestrate contact flows, manage queues and agents, configure quick connects, and deliver advanced reporting and call analytics. So good example again, right? So this we actually implemented the solution in 6 weeks for one of our clients during COVID situation. So this is basically used by the customer service representatives, taking calls from the end users and answering to their needs and questions. And prior to Amazon Connect, they used to have like um, wire phones and stuff like that, which is not connected in cloud. So this transformation actually enabled the CSRs to work remotely during COVID days and still be able to conform to the PCI compliance needs, where during when they take up credit card transactions from the users, they have to follow certain procedures and policies to remain compliant. And Amazon Connect actually made that happen, right? So that's a real time use case that we implemented. One other use case that I could bounce upon is ALPR. so cloud-based OCR. ALPR is like automatic license plate recognition. We use that for the license plate based transaction processing in the tolling world. So this cloud based OCR, it enhances the customer confidence by enabling seamless contactless vehicle identification, reducing wait times and improving service personalization. They improve billing accuracy by automatically linking the license plates to customer accounts, minimizing manual errors, and ensuring precise transaction records. So that's another use case that we can talk about on that aspect. Yeah.
Appreciate that. And I think next I'd like to just ask, so how is that actually translated into improved digital services for the public? Like, I can see how this helps on the back end. Talk to me about the front end of how customers experience the digital services improvements.
So yeah, the AWS Connect use case that we talked about, it it gives the ability to um, have the CSRs converse with the end users with more information on the screen upfront, right? I mean, by the time a call comes in, um, uh, by the system identifies the number of that particular end user calling in, and you know um, displays the relevant information on the screen for the CSR to look at it and understand what was the previous calls from the customer, what are their balances that is there in the account, and whatnot. Right? It gives you a picture by the time the CSR picks up the call. He or she has a fair idea of what's happening with that particular customer. So that's the digital, the data coalition, the systems that behind the scenes brings you upfront value, right? And it reduces. If you look at what the agency is going to benefit out of it, it reduces wait times. CSR can quickly resolve and improve the satisfaction from the customer standpoint, and move on to the next call. Right? It also routes complex issues into so there are aspects of automatic handling, aspects of routing it to human agents when there are complex issues. So that's value it creates, it leads to create, right? From the other use case that we talked about is ALPR. It improves the billing accuracy, increased revenue realization, and the quality of the revenue is also is improved because it handles automatically. By the time when a vehicle passes, it reads the license plate, and the license plate number is automatically linked to the account. And depending upon the account's payment structure, it charges a payment, right? So that's actually the whole cycle gets reduced. So that's another beauty of it from the
Yeah,
skin use.
absolutely. Yeah. So wrapping up, Paul, I'm curious. So for public sector leaders looking to modernize or enhance their efficiency, what parting advice would you offer them, or critical questions they should be asking themselves to improve digital services?
Yeah. So again, right, from the advice standpoint, um, the leaders, one has to start with a citizen-centric design, right? You prioritize, what do you need during the timeline, and how it meets diverse needs of your agency at large, right? And from our experience, right, this is what we tell our client as well: modernize incrementally, right? Don't go to rip and replace approaches. Instead, adopt phased upgrades. Right, focus on high impact areas first to build momentum, and then go to the next level. And there are a lot of experienced players out there, right? Who this is already done in the commercial world to a larger extent and larger scale. So leverage your partnerships, right? We are there to help. So ask around, and collaborate with tech vendors, so that the partnerships can be leveraged, and build a resilient tech backbone, like invest in scalable, secure, and interoperable systems. Ensure legacy systems are integrated to replace without disrupting services. And the last but not the least, use the data intelligently, right? Break down silos to enable cross-agency insights. Apply AI and predictive analytics to anticipate needs and allocate resources. Right. That's on the advice part. But from the questions, what we should be asking ourselves from the agency standpoint is, do I have the right team from my side? Right? Because most of those areas where when we go through the procurement for the government agencies bid standpoint, very lean team, and they are heavily dependent on a third party vendor even to put together an RFP and pick a partner of their choice. And picking a partner, even for that, we should have the right team internally, to put the vision together, and see if the vendor that they're picking is the right vendor, right, in terms of the client centricity and stuff like that. That's very important. And from the strategy and technology fitment, partner capability standpoint, are we having the right questions? Is the vendor having the right capabilities, right experience? Are they making sure the agency is getting future proof? So those are the questions that we should be asking in terms of picking the right vendor and building the right model internally.
Well, Paul Godwin, thank you so much for taking a few minutes to share your respective insights on modernizing and the importance of partnerships with capable platforms like those at AWS, but also firms like yours that are in the partner ecosystem that kind of have that domain knowledge and deeper expertise. So, really appreciate it. Thanks again for joining us.
Thank you.